Action. Hello, Queer Connect organization peeps. I am here with...
I'm Carson Gordon. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm homosexual.
I'm Eveona Williams. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm bisexual.
Now, I went to the protest yesterday, the Black Lives Matter protest yesterday on the Four Corners, and these two wonderful people helped organize it. Now, was this your first time organizing an event like this?
Well, my freshman year was when the Parkland shooting happened in Florida, and there was a lot of walkouts happening with that. And I had organized a assembly at the school, which had led to a sit-in in the high school, but then we were forced to move outside. So, and then that led to the March for Our Lives on the Four Corners. I didn't have a huge part organizing that. That was the Coalition for Justice here in Bennington, but I participated in that.
This was my first time organizing anything big, like a protest or anything like that.
Back on me. Sorry, I accidentally turned it around. Okay, cool. Now, how did you think the protest went yesterday?
It was great. The small issues that there was were like the four racist people that were there, and we basically covered them up the entire time. Like you wouldn't even know they were there until like the end when there wasn't people to cover them up.
I think it went amazing. I'm glad with how the numbers came out. I'm so amazed with how many people actually came out to support us.
Yeah, I read in the banner today that there were about 300 people who attended.
Yeah.
Now I also attended the vigil the night before, and both were very moving. It was great to have them back to back. Now I have another question. So, what do you think it was like? Because I know that you both went to the Pride Caravan. What do you think it was? How did you feel about going from one event to the next within like a week? Was it probably?
Yeah. In contrast, like the Pride celebration was more like a celebration. Like it was fun. There was music. We were like happy, and this was more like this needs to change. Like we need things to be implemented for these people. We also need that for Pride, but Pride was more happy. Like we're celebrating our differences, and we were still celebrating our differences at the Black Lives Matter protests, but it was not in such a happy way. Like people are dying because of this. Still happening with Pride, but very different tones to the different events.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was very emotional and moving due to the fact how I am both Pride and Black Lives Matter because I'm bisexual. So it wasn't like happy. It was kind of like these people support me, but then again, some people don't due to both things. So it was kind of like moving and emotional and like touching at the same time.
Great. Yeah. Now, you told me that you were from Florida, and Carson is from Bennington. Now, how does it feel to come from Florida to a place like Bennington County?
At first, it was very, very depressing. I was bullied throughout school all the time. I still am. But then I didn't really know the steps to overachieve it, to ignore it, to help people see that I matter, my feelings matter. So now I feel like I can make a change in Bennington for other children, and that's all I want to do.
Great. Now, what do you think could be different about Bennington? What do you wish could change?
I feel people in Bennington need more accountability. Like things will happen and people just look right over it. Like there's so many incidents at the high school specifically where there's no evidence of things and administration will look right over it.
I think the people will need to be more open-minded to other people's feelings and not just their own, because other people matter, other people have feelings too, it's not just your feelings. And to educate yourselves about what's going on in the world, not just in Bennington, but over the whole country.
People need to know in Bennington that we aren't innocent of racism. Like, oh, it's our little small town, we have no problems here. Our police department is innocent, they're not racist, but it is. Like, we have all of these problems that are happening nationwide, and we can't ignore that.
Now, what sparked your interest in organizing an event? Like, was there, because I know that the instance with Kaya Morris, but and George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery, was there anything like in particular that you were just like, all right, this needs to happen now?
Well, I hadn't come up with the idea for the protest, but I had saw a friend of mine, Lucas, had made a poster saying like, "Hey, we're gonna do this on Sunday the 14th," and I was like, "Oh, I really like. I know a lot of people in this town. I think I could put something bigger together." And I spread the word out, and then I got in touch with more people to make this a bigger event.
Great, great.
I saw Carson's flyer, and then I talked to him about to show like how it is, how I feel about the situation, and not just white people, but the people of color. So we have a platform to talk about what we can talk about.
Great, great. What can you think of anything that Queer Connect could help out with in terms of what we're talking about? Is there anything you'd like to see from this organization? Because we are people first.
Mm-hmm.
We'd like to please the people. So is there anything that you can think of?
Maybe like connecting Pride and Black Lives Matter, because there's so many Black queer people and bisexual people and trans people, and their lives matter too. So maybe like connecting on that. But other than that,
maybe more stuff year round, because like stuff that happens in June is great, but then as soon as June's over, all those flags go down. Everything is like, oh, we're back to normal. Like this is like, we can forget about them. Not necessarily like the people in town were like, okay, they can have this 1 month, and then we can just like look past them. I feel like we could do stuff more year round and like show businesses that support queer-owned businesses and stuff like that.
Great. Now, you answered for me already earlier, but if you could tell our viewers what year you are in school.
I'm a junior. I'm going to be a senior in the fall.
I am a sophomore going to be a junior in the fall.
Now, you mentioned bullying in school. Have you seen any camaraderie in terms of the LGBTQIA people in school? I mean, I graduated 4 years ago now, and it was really wild to me that like almost immediately after people went to college, everybody came out, you know. So it's really heartwarming to me to come home and see people out and proud. Have you found that it's been easy at MAU to be out and proud? No.
I'm able to be out with my friends, which I'm like in the music department. Everyone's so loving. Everyone knows each other. We're all able to be ourselves. But like school-wide, people are so negative. And I don't. Something I view is that there's a lot more openly expressive women, and I feel like toxic masculinity has such a part in that men aren't able to express themselves, like their feelings, and so they have to hide everything and push everything down. And they can't be able to show their own emotions and their true selves.
At MAU, you basically have to hide yourself. You can't be who you truly are, because you get judged no matter who you are, what you look like, if you're trans, if you're bisexual. I had to hide myself for a while because I got picked on. I don't ever think it's gonna change because it's high school, but I feel like there does need to be a change in the school, in the students.
If you could say one thing to Bennington, to MAU, to our friends at Queer Connect, what would it be?
We need your support. Like high school students, high school is such a vulnerable time, and if we're treated like this in high school, like, people aren't ever going to feel like they can be themselves, and we need this affirmation of like, it's okay to be yourself and it's okay to express your emotions.
Especially to children, because that's hard for them to go through as it is, telling you that they're bisexual or telling you that they're gay and not knowing what you're gonna think and maybe being judged. So take less time to judge somebody and look inside of their heart instead of looking at what they are, and what they are is a label, because it's just a label.
Great. thank you guys so much. I'm M. Fowler on behalf of Queer Connect, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And thank you, Carson and Eveona, for joining me today.